Sphinx, anything, you're just gonna grab whoever you get, and you're just gonna like drive through those areas with for recon. Does that make sense? See if you can draw fire. There you go. You got silent.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Saturday Session 2 June 30th event. I am your commentator for the evening, Shadowed Ritual, joined today by XF. How's it going, XF?
It's all right. We're good.
It's going great. Thanks for asking.
And today we bring to you Operation Arrowhead, and we're going to go ahead and roll right into the Russian platoon brief. We'll go ahead and give you an update on the op and the loadouts and whatnot after, but we're going straight to the platoon brief led by the Karmakut.
Operation Arrowhead. This is a Russian advance against militia defense. Militia is set up somewhere within these grid squares here. We're going to mark them. These are the first initial 4. There's another 4 in H7, I8, and Golf 8, and Fox 9, if we could get those marked. But essentially, this is Operation Arrowhead. You see why, because it's an arrowhead. Militia set up a fob in one of these locations. Our goal is to search and destroy it. We get 1 times BTR, 1 times MTLB, 1 times mortar, 2 times MMGs in the weapon squad. Their assets are 1 times SPG, Techie. They do have mortars as well, and they will be entrenched and building their fob. So we're going to have squads 1 and 2 are full-on infantry squads. They're going to be forming the brunt of the line. We're going to be pushing to the initial marker here in I3. At that point, Squad 4, who has the BTR, they're going to detach from the platoon, push further westbound towards Echo 5, and then scout the 3 westernmost locations from the rear. So they're going to get recon, try to find the location from the rear. While they're doing that, 1, 2, 3 in command, we're going to proceed southbound.
Yes, did someone call for me?
We're going to proceed this direction, south through. 1 and 2 online, forming the front of the line. Squad 3 behind them with weapons, and the Logi just preparing to assist whatever squad gets engaged. Command will be in the MTLB in the rear with the gear. We're going to be using the MTLB as a command vehicle and fire support if needed. Are there any questions? No? All right, squad leaders. What?
Are we going in a specific order? Like, clearing the points?
We're pretty much going to go straight south, because we'll be able to hit most of these south, and hopefully 4 is recon the western 3. So
as long as they're doing Logi runs, we'll hear them.
Yeah. Alright, squad leader, break them out, get your briefings done, we'll set for life.
Okie dokie, we are ready to go.
Squad 1 over here.
Where would you like? Where's squads 1 and 2? In the trance?
In the trance. 3 load up in the MTLB.
Alright, guys, we'll see how Karmakut's plan works out for him. We'll go ahead and break down this op for those of you just joining us. This is Operation Arrowhead. We're going to go ahead and bring up the actual official map. And essentially, the militia can position themselves in any of these keypads. The keypads are a little off, but on the map, it basically forms an arrowhead starting in the north part of the map and going down towards the Neva area and just to the west of it. The militia can set up anywhere in those keypads, and it's the Russians' job to dig them out, clear out the fob, and dig them out. Let's go over commands. So for the Russian command, we have platoon lead Karmakut with squad lead Sphinx, Fulcrum, Silent, and Pain 12B. For the militia, we have Command Dwarf with squad leads HML, Hero, Atomic Peach, and Sugarhearts. So it's a lot of experience on either side. I don't think there's too many people who don't have a lot of experience. I think Hero might be the newest person. Sugarheart I've seen a lot of. Pain's done a lot. Yeah, so a lot of experience on either side. I think it's going to come down to commands and their styles. And to be fair to Karma, it's been a minute since he's actually commanded
MTLB.
an op, so it should be interesting for him. And it's actually
Logi behind the MTLB. So BTR,
point of
trans,
view from command
MTLB, Logi.
for this first round.
Hey Mike, I'm clear to cut off at this first intersection, correct?
Yeah, you're gonna go right at the first intersection. You're gonna keep rolling too. Like as soon as we get to the that bridge area, you're gonna keep going. The rest of the
Well,
platoon's
Mr.
gonna stop.
MP, check us out
Copy,
at
yeah, I got
SquadOps.gg. On the
Alright,
calendar,
scratch
there
me, it's gonna be
are our basic
BTR,
courses,
trans,
our
logi,
SOTT
and
basic
TLP.
courses. And once you sign up and take that course, you can sign up for all of our ops to play in after that. So, has a lifetime been called yet?
I don't think so. Not quite yet.
No, not
Yeah,
quite
not
yet.
quite yet.
Alright, Sphinx, so don't be
All right,
afraid
let's
to
go
draw
ahead
fire
and
because
go
they'll
over
tell you
the
where they are.
loadouts,
Just
and
try
Cameron
not
just
to
sort
die.
of ran through them,
Copy.
and that way you can get an idea of what both teams get. For the Russians, for the squad,
Do they
they
have
get
armor?
2 automatic riflemen, 1 light anti-tank, 1 grenade launcher, and 1 medic per squad. They also get a weapon squad led by Fulcrum this round.
Yes.
And they get
They have
2 squad lead kits, 2 fire team lead kits,
Not armor though, right? Just
2
light shit.
machine gunner kits, the medium machine gun, 2 light anti-tanks, and 1 medic. So they get quite a bit of firepower and a couple binoculars to
One
to
SPG
help
and then
send
any
fire. For the vehicles, they get 1 BTR-80, 1 MTLB with the NSVT, and 1 trans truck. They get a mortar squad with 1 logi, and I believe that's going to be Fulcrum, I believe, is also taking charge of that squad. For the militia, they get 2. For the squad, they get 2 automatic riflemen, 1 light anti-tank, and 1 medic per squad. For the platoon, they get 2 machine guns and 4 engineers. So we'll see how they decide to use those engineers. For the engineers, it's one of our kits that we added in with the mod. And XF, who's one of our modding guys, what exactly is in the engineer kit?
So yeah, the engineer kit, he gets mines and a whole bunch of sandbags and razor wire. So he can go and help out with setting up a little of a base of fire, maybe some cover, and also if they know that there's gonna be some Vicks running around, they can put down some mine traps.
So should be they're basically mini fobs on their own. They've got a lot of things to build with, and then they've got those mines to help deny these BTRs, which they can be very devastating depending on where the militia decided to set up. And they decided to set up in the G6 keypad 8 area, just south of what is that, West Petrivka, I believe is the name of it.
Yes, yeah, I believe so.
And it's like a little what it is, like a work yard. There's like 3 longish buildings. We'll go ahead and fly over there while we wait for start.
Yeah, looking at it right now, it looks like they do have, because they are allowed to build just a touch right before live. So they do already have some sandbags up, a mortar shelter and stuff like that. But I know right as soon as live hits, I believe they get to do some more logi runs and really starting to get their building up.
Yeah, they get infinite logi runs. As long as that logi is operational, they can consistently run logi. And they can, if Karma is not...
He said jelly beans, we're not cutting it.
He doesn't get jelly beans.
Yeah, if Karma's not fast wherever
he's not fast enough.
The militia can definitely build quite the fob against the Russians.
And I think that's really what they're hoping on. That area is not...
Alright, Storm, we're ready to go.
I want to say it's not that ideal because it's very hard to get any kind of OPs out and get eyes out without them, because the chances are if they send an OP out, they're not coming back. Because getting back to the location that they're at, they're running through open fields, and there's some slight defilade, but for the most part it is open fields, and they're gonna just get mowed down from any kind of vehicle or the weapon squad if they get set up in the right place.
Yeah, I think definitely these wide open fields, they're going to play against the militia, but in the beginning phase, they're going to help the militia. It's going to make the Russians kind of stay at distance, and they're going to have to use their vehicles to get up close to these compounds. So I think it's a matter of fact of, can the militia kill enough Russians while they advance, and then have their whatever flanking squad clean up the rest in time before the Russians can cross these open fields and attack the militia.
And it looks like Sphinx. Yeah, Sphinx is going to be in charge of this BTR-80, and he has a saloon driving or gunning. And pretty experienced guys. We'll see if, as long as they don't flip it early, it should do some good work. I'm expecting the BTR to really carry its weight, and we are live. Not so much from the MTOB. The MTOB is I feel is going to be more of a base of fire for the infantry to push under, while the BTR is really going to do a lot of roaming and just circling the area, trying to pick off targets of opportunity.
Most definitely. That MTOB is so ridiculously loud. Yeah, I think it's going to be impossible to do any type of flanking with it. Meanwhile, the BTR, you can stay a good amount out and actually, go and get shots on target before anyone knows that he's there.
And as we say that, the BTR just zooms off, is already starting to make some good distance in between him and the rest of the vehicles. And this is a good time to point out some of the things we have with the mod for the time being. Vehicle markers are not on the map. We pull up our map. There are no vehicles here. They do not show up. The only people that do show up on the map are squad leads, fire team leads, and the medics. So any of our fire support roles or the just basic riflemen do not show up on the map, and it's really to force people to stay together and communicate in local.
In the middle of the road.
I have to go switch out some guys to FDL kit. They joined late.
Looks like there is a small amount of militia. Yes, the SPG techie, they went really, really far out there. I think, yeah, the scout can set up a mine here, or the engineer. Yeah, they're sending down a mine, and they're just going to go ahead and keep a good, nice little flank on the militia, or sorry, as the Russians, as they approach. They my guess is they'll head north and try to watch over this MSR on the far north end of the map.
Very unfortunate turn of events for the Russians. They have flipped their logi.
Punch out south 100 meters, one on the left, two on the right.
Right on the median. BTR is off on its own.
Yeah.
And the logi is flipped. We'll see if they can get this unflipped and back on its feet. But for the time being, they're down mortars, and that could turn out very poorly for them. Yeah, Paradox, they flipped it.
Oh, BTR's coming up on the SPG techie. It's lighting up the SPG techie. I didn't even see him because of my name tags. He's already killed both infantrymen. No, one survived. He's killed the SPG techie.
BTR is down.
And it is just Little Joe who's up. Who is an engineer himself. Put down a mine. He did put down a mine.
What was it, SPG?
They see it though. They see this mine for sure. They even see Little Joe.
Yeah. Little Joe's not going to escape this one.
Well, and that is the SPG, so they do not have any.
They nailed Little Joe right in the toe. Yeah, they get a discotheque. I'm not sure what that one's at here. I'm using my name tags to kind of figure out where they are. I believe they flew over to Squad 2's position, and they might just use it as a transport. I'm not sure if it's...
I think the SPG tech is really going to use the fog that is in this low ground. As we get to the lower ground, the fog just intensifies as it does in nature, as it was told to me. So they were really going to hope to sneak out of the fog and make their way out before the BTR even realized they were there. But unfortunately for the BTR, they were just rolling straight into them, and it was just an unfortunate visit, or an unfortunate meeting.
It's on the road right next.
So it looks like the second technical for the militia, the discotheque, has already been destroyed, as I see a burning wreck and a militia body laying down right next to it. So I think the BTR has already checked out this area and saw that there was a techie. Might have popped it real fast, and then he moved north to see what else is trying to flank him. Not sure where he's gone off now.
Just leave it, dude. You're full on fire support now.
Understood.
And mortars, the call has been made to leave the logi. It's flipped. There's no saving it now. Just get out. You're a full-on fire support squad. This isn't gonna work. You don't want to try and get your transport stuck, especially if you're still not sure where the militia position is.
So we got a buddy team of a lat and a rifleman, or maybe a medic. Yeah, a medic and a lat, who've went ahead and gone on a flank. Looks like the BTR has dropped them off, and they did see this logi technical move out into this area. So yeah, he's going to be going off to the east here. But these two Russians, they are in the backside of the militia. However, they cannot do anything. Otherwise, look at the full militia team pointing right at their direction.
On the other hand, the Russian team has dismounted at the bridge, at the central bridge on the north part of the map, and they've just got a line formation, and they're going to start pushing south. It's a very nice, very nice and clean line formation, and especially considering that the only people on the map are the quote unquote important people, and they're managing to maintain their formation rather well. I'd really like to hear that information from who are those two guys on the other end.
It is Captain and Ricochet.
Yeah, I'd really like to hear them, or at least some of the information that they've seen come through command comms that they have spotted a Logi, because that is a dead giveaway that they're at least the Logi is towards the north. That cuts out a lot.
Of MTLB, maybe 1,000 meters out. Over.
I guess Karma's cannot contact the MTLB. I'm not sure where that MTLB is at.
MTLB is on the central.
Oh, and there goes.
That cuts Yeho Rivka north to south, and I think they see it.
Yeah, Sphinx just went ahead and called out. They saw a Logi go on the north side. So yeah, Shadowed. The MTLB. I guess he saw the militia flanking squad up on the hills.
Roger, where are you moving?
So it is a full squad that is up here.
Once again, hello everybody who is just now joining us. This is a Squad Ops One Life event. This is Operation Arrowhead. I am your commentator for the evening, Shadowed Ritual, joined today by XF.
Hi, how's it going, guys?
And we're about 10-15 minutes into this match. The Russian squad has dismounted from their main transportation, and they are starting to just line formation, push south, and clear out the chosen locations of the militia. They don't know exactly where they are. They just know a general whereabouts. And they should come into contact here at, I believe this is Eastern Petrivka or Central Petrivka on the east. I just heard a mine go off or some kind of explosion.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that was.
No, the flipped Logi exploded.
Oh, the flipped Logi.
Okay. Flip Logi.
Yeah, I see the burning wreck now.
Alpha Guido and Mr. Adams are on point, and a Musk, Royal Milkman, and Deroba should be the ones who come into contact here initially.
Break,
They haven't made it there. Contact.
He's running forward. I'd like to see him stop. Oh, contact spotted. Who was the one to light it up? He was hit on a flank. Oh, it was VIP and Robo came upon somebody that I didn't even see.
They're in the town with us.
Too interested in this guy on point.
Alright, 2, hold your pause, don't push into town.
5-2, that's where they're...
Copy, do not push into the town, 2.
Geo rounds going off. Silent giving out a very accurate contact reports, and I'd like to see this Geo just lay a little more rounds on the other side of this
they got eyes on us and we're taking hits.
fence.
Either pull back or dig in.
It does sound like there is a militia FTL is using one of our modded weapons. It is I forget what the actual name of this weapon is, but it shoots a 308, and it does have some sort of an optic on it. It's not entirely an optic, doesn't have nearly as much zoom as a normal marksman scope, but it is a whole lot better than a red dot, I can tell you that. Who's that is using it? It is Royal Milkman. So if he actually nails someone with that round, that 308's going to do a lot of damage. They're going to go back to their medic. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to see anything through this fog.
I'm about to go down.
Hurry up, Silent, gonna bleed out.
3, cover 2 as they peel back.
And right off the bat, contact for Silent Squad. He's lost about 2 people so far. One automatic rifleman, 1 rifleman, but he's managing to hold his position as they roll the MTLB up to help this push at Central Nova. Who's holding this squad? It's Royal Milkman, Deroba, Kahuna, a Musk. Atomic Peach is leading this squad, so it's Squad 2, who's on the eastern flank of the militia.
Here, load in when you can.
Shandon over on Karma's YouTube channel says, "How do they win on each side?" Basically, it's a death match, right? So the militia have to kill all the Russians, or the Russians have to kill all the militia. However, their main objective is this fob compound the militia have set up, the guys in red. So Russians have to clear this area, and if in the process they kill all the militia, then good, that'll end the round before they take on that fob. It really just depends how this will play out.
Yeah. We run these One Life events, and our mission designer, Xbit, designs several different kinds of scenarios depending on what he feels like making. And this op is Operation Arrowhead, and they got to choose I believe it was like almost like 6 or 7 different keypads that they could set up in. And the militia have set up there. They get some defenses. They can run logi. They can get dug in, and the militia are tasked with digging said militia out. The militia is opting for a very wide defense, in my opinion. They've got guys in central Petrifica. They've got guys south of western Petrifica, and they've got guys very, very far south, almost 1,000 meters. Yeah, it's about 1,000 meters south. No, about 400 or 500 meters.
This Russian buddy team, they decided they wanted to go ahead and check out the main fob compound all by themselves. And SL sees him. It shoots Ricochet. So they do know that there is Russians on their south.
No bleed out. Arctic Wolf, it's just our way of doing our one life. If you get hit, you can bandage and you can be healed. But once you go down and you get the little electric symbol above your head, you are no longer able to be picked up.
I think it's also going to throw a nade. Yeah, it tosses over. It lands just short. But it still kills Ricochet. So he has just his medic up now. That is Captain.
Yep, Matt, Karma is in the game. Karma is commanding Russian side this round. We are in round 1, so we won't be able to hear him, but we'll be able to see him play the militia side next round. We're only about 20 minutes into this round, and contact is sporadic, and I believe about even, just from looking at downs. We can't really trust the kills. People have to give up the response. But on just based off the downs, it's 3-3.
It's like Captain went down as he was trying to retreat by either Zaki or Polish. Who shit at him. Zaki making sure that he's dead by shooting an RPG right into his body. A little bit overkill. Hey, he's got 2 frag rounds. So that is all the Russians in the flank. It looks like they're sending the main squad of militia back, because they're probably thinking that there is a squad to their south and not just 2 men. So this actually might mess around with the militia's defense a lot more than Karma's intentions.
Command, this is 3. Do you want us to move south or?
I like Karma's response to the contact, and somebody brought it up that they responded to contact amazingly well, and that is very true. Silent held his guys there in contact, gave the contact report, and then was told to pull back with the MTLB pulling up to cover their retreat, and that allowed Silent to pull back to a more defensive location with a sort of trench defilade in between any kind of enemy, and that allows who's this over here, Pain 12B squad, squad 1. Yeah, squad 1 to maneuver south and get on a flank. They're going a little far south for my taste. I don't want to see them going that far south because it's going to be very hard for any kind of infantry to reinforce them or any vehicles to get over there to reinforce them. But I do like the movement of going south to get on a flank.
And Mishla, they gave up their far south hill, and I think the Russians are just going to run over that once they see there's no one there, because I do remember that Karma's MTLB did spot them when they were way up at that main bridge, them on the southern hill that we're looking at currently.
We haven't heard a contact report from the MTLB, or sorry, from the BTR in a while. Let's go ahead and try and find out where that thing snuck off to.
All right. I think we're good for now.
Just in the meantime, we'll go and just kind of go ahead and say that normally we actually just stream on the Squad Ops Twitch and YouTube channel. However, tonight's a little bit special as Karma is commanding, something you don't see quite as often, but he is trying to get back into it. Oh, I just heard the BTR fire off by me here.
Yep, rightfully so. The Squad 4 lead, Sphinx, is giving out his exact position because he's not spotted on the map, as you can see. And he has eyes on the militia compound in a great overwatch position, just not allowing anybody to move in on them.
This fog, though, is preventing those vehicles from using too much of their optics, especially since they did choose the lower ground. I think here we got a lat lining up a shot. It might be Seabass here with the lat. I'm not sure though. No, he is not a lat.
Seabass and Silas over here. They have eyes on the BTR.
Yeah,
these guys are a squad to their, I believe this is their northwest. Saloon's very hesitant about staying still for too long, and they're gonna just keep on moving, use the maneuverability of the BTR, just keep getting in different spots, not allowing the lats to properly line up a shot, and making them having to constantly adjust their ranging.
It's on my location.
So if you guys do like these One Life events, make sure to follow us on the Squad Ops Twitch and YouTube to see more of them, as we do stream them every Wednesday and Saturday. So you can see them a lot more often than if you're just on the Karma's stream.
Make a play one way or another, I think.
That's not close.
Yeah, it's in until B.
Looks like we got FN Nicola and Shughart, who FN Nicola is a lat and he has his heat round out.
You're running up.
They're going up to the BTR.
This is like that scene off of Band of Brothers where they run up out of the hedgerow, and the commander is, "You're gonna get me killed." And they're getting close. They're getting on the flank. Sphinx is not watching. They're looking at the enemy. This could be bad.
This BTR, it is rotating his turret.
Turret's looking.
Is
Goes
he
right
gonna
past
see
him. Nope, he sees
sees the lad.
Oh, it just lights up for Nicola.
Come on, SL, you gotta get out of there. You're way more important than this lat. Oh, this SL, he must be pissing his pants here.
Good.
It's
Saloon
Shughart.
is just constantly swiveling. Saloon is just swiveling and swiveling, and he spotted him. Great job. He's waiting for Shughart to peek. He doesn't know how many people are over there.
Keep pushing either west or south.
Great spots from Saloon.
Let me know the second you take fire.
He really did a good job right there, just checking his 360. He probably was doing it periodically.
Pull us back.
And that's what totally saved them. That lat would have most definitely gotten into their rear and get a one
They
shot
were looking
on
for
that
at least
BTR.
a side shot or a rear shot. They had eyes on Shughart. Shughart has been spotted.
Yep. One of the BTR, he's pulling up forward, but I know he doesn't have enough depression. These Russian vehicles, they like to have no depression. Which actually, I found out why most Russian vehicles do not have that much depression. It's because their cannon breach is usually pretty long, and they would rather be a lower target than have depression.
Directly west of me, 100 meters.
Looks like that. It's like two Russian squads that were flanking on the south. They're coming up on the militia who fell off the hill.
3, this is man. We're still posturing for you. We keep moving.
And they're rolling right through them.
They are. Matt Bob Lawn Darts are the only two putting up some kind of defense as Pain 12B squad gets in here, along with Silent Squad. 2 squads moving through the southeast, or almost direct south of the objective. Leaving, I believe, Silas is in charge of the squad.
Can't see anything.
No, Shughart is in charge of the squad, who's out of the.
North of you.
Oh, he's moving back to rehook up the squad. Nikolai is dead.
From me after the small shot.
But he's gonna get spotted here. Silence. If he tries to cross this road, you can only imagine what Shughart's going through right now. He's on the wrong side of the road. His squad is on the other side, and he's running. He has to just run if he wants to survive and keep the command structure for the militia.
However, he's got to go north and run. Otherwise, he's going to run right into the Russians.
Still there, directly north of you. I have visual contact.
Yeah, Sukhart's running right out into the open here, but just in time to get a view of this Russian who's coming up, which is Rob. So he barely escapes that one.
I like this formation that the Russians have going. It's very nice. Silent, getting ahead of himself, getting very far up, gets picked off by Shughart's squad. But that lights up their position. Yeah, that's UJ Key with their GL. They see these sandbags and they're starting to light them up. I think Shughart got hit. Yeah, Shughart got hit by the blast. I'd like to see a couple more GL shots going in that situation, at least, or going in that area, at least to take out the sandbags so they can push up a little easier.
So the MTLB, he's looking into what I believe is southern Nicola. I believe so on this map. He's looking right into that cap zone. However, I don't think he has any direct eyes on these militia. And there is a lap.
All these dudes
who is on the fence line and ready to go.
I can't cross because we're watching this.
I don't think he sees him
Mortar's
exactly.
out from Dwarf. Dwarf's platoon, and we'll see where they land. I believe Sugarheart has seen at least this element led by Silent, or who's his fire team lead now. His fire team lead, Alpha Guido. Yeah, Alpha Guido is in charge of his fire team, or his squad.
I've got at least 2 enemy, 1 friendly.
Oh, just way far off. A little too far off. About 100, 150 meters off. No, about 100 meters off.
I guess we'll quickly look at our kills here. We got 7 on the Russian front and 4 on the militia. So Russia is up by 3. Definitely not a deciding factor yet. However, Russia does have a lot more vehicles right now.
Yeah, and there's a lot, but to be fair, there's a lot of open ground that the Russian infantry are going to have to cross to get in the militia compound.
MTLB is firing on to Kahuna here. That is Karma and Trident inside this MTLB. That goes out, goes right over the MTLB.
Yeah, this is command. We got these guys locked in on the northeast. We got 1 element over here, so keep pushing 3.
Oh yeah.
These 2 squads are getting close to the Russian compounds. They're at least clearing out one of, the militia compound. They're about to clear out one of the militia outposts.
This MTLB just wall penned the militia lat who's already fired off his heat round through the fence, absolutely just toasting him.
Oh my God! Mortar goes out, takes out 1, hurts 3 others. Oh, takes out 4.
Wow, that is a serious mortar strike for taking.
That was a great mortar. Spacing was just not there for the Russians. They got a little too clumped up. Nobody was calling out check your spacing at all, and 4 go down in two mortar strikes.
The MTB kills another one as he was just retreating like far back into the town. He peeked his head up, and the MTB popped him from a good amount away.
Mortars take out another, and hurt Evan SMA and Rob.
It's like militia.
In a blink of an eye, the Silent Squad has just been decimated. Mortar takes out another. Driving Muffin gets taken out. Oh, these Russian squads need to move. Mortars are taking.
They're retreating like ants right now.
I believe Dwarf, the platoon lead for the Russian or for the militia, have is manning these mortars. And let me just double check that. And he has 6 kills with the mortars so far, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon.
Don't get yourself killed by
so what it looks like to me so far is that the Russians are starting to ball up on the main fob. However, there is a couple fire teams left on the outside that are going to be engaged these Russians from the outside of the compound, because I think they're so bunched up right now.
The BTR is clearing out a lot of these contacts that are left on the outside. Fro, there's out of a fire team of 4, is the only one left. That hasn't been spotted by the BTR.
And he does not have any AT abilities. He's an FTL.
Oh,
RPG goes out. Just barely missed.
Wide. Was that an RPG or the SPG?
I think it was an RPG. We heard the ping. There is an SPG facing that way though. If Polish. Come on, Polish. Be the hero. Be the hero you want to be. Get on that SPG.
BTR is going to push off. Pull off. He knows he should not be that close. He's going to use the optics to his advantage. Sugarheart and, Sphinx and Saloon just going to move out.
I wonder if that BTR actually saw the SPG down the alleyway, because it was very visible.
I might have entry on this compound, the southeast corner. I can see it.
This BTR is spotted. Fro has constant eyes on him. I want to go check out this Mert Lino. Is he a lat?
I'm direct north of you, really.
Oh, super fast.
My concern is that there is still at least 1 times enemy squad in the compound northeast.
No, there are no AT capabilities anywhere near this BTR.
Yeah, they could be on your flank.
So yeah, Karma calling out while he's inside the MTB that he's worried that there's another squad behind him and to his north, which is completely true. There is a fire team, not a squad, but a fire team that is behind them.
Atomic Peach, Churls, Emusk, and Kahuna. I'm not sure if any of these guys are light anti-tank. Doesn't look like it. No, there's no light anti-tank in this area, so they're not super worried about an RPG, or they shouldn't be super worried about an RPG coming behind them. But one of them is the engineer,
Got it.
and
We're
he could
moving.
lay a
Alright,
sneaky
get your
mine for
MG
the
set,
MTOB
watching
to
our
run
flank
over.
and screening. You're gonna take the rest of your infantry and try to.
It's a very light defense on the point proper.
It's like 3 is gearing up for a push here.
Okay, I see the gap. I see the gap.
Okay, yeah, the gap through 90. Make sure your MGs are checking the flank.
He's waiting.
What are our vehicles' current locations?
Sounds like that BTR just popped something.
I'm right on top of 3 lead, and I think the BTR is north.
Something blew up.
Is the BTR on like Fox 6 near the intersection?
BTR is 0544.
Alright,
I like
MGs
this.
shot
This
checking east. There's
ammo
Coast
bear
Guard
is going to
east,
use
northeast.
the MTLB
Welcome to
as
the
a base
northwest,
to fire from.
Definitely has a nice elevated position. However, he is going to skyline on top of that. It's going to make him a pretty easy shot.
That's true. He just needs to spot these guys first, and he is looking rear, giving the MTB some sort of rear security, and that's a medium machine gun that can lay down some serious damage and has some pretty good penetration as far as I know.
Yeah, for sure. It's fires a great round, 7.62, 54. I believe it can go right through anything that's not a cement wall.
3, you gotta move fast.
Mortars are out again, and if Dwarf's mortars are going to be on point as they have been this whole time, these could be devastating.
So, an idea. This MTOB, I think the mortars are going to go on the BTR.
Yep, they're landing near. No, they're landing near where the MTOB is. Serranus is the only one who could possibly be affected by it. And people are getting up on the wall. They got Fulcrum and Spoon Moose on the wall.
There is
but they got to worry about Silas,
amount.
Shughart, and Willem.
Yeah, they're right to the south. It looks like, is that a lat that I see? I don't think so.
These mortars are getting pretty close to friendlies. I'd be concerned.
Really close.
Oh, Fulcrum goes down as he tries to breach.
And it looks like the other amount of Russians have decided to go ahead and break off west, and they're moving north. So they're moving up to that BTR's position right now. They're using that suppressing fire from the coax.
Spoon Moose and BC Universe, the only people really able to get into the point. 3 lead being told to hold his position, but immediately leaves his corner to push a building and gets mowed down for his troubles. Maybe next time you should listen to command.
So we got Ammo Bear and Serranos, who's still up. They're both MMGs.
Karmakut drives the MTLB directly in the compound. He's sitting in there now. Takes out Cloza. They got Sergeant JC, Dwarf, Mr. Sauce, and HML, the only people left on the point proper.
Here comes the infantry. The infantry is running in behind him.
The outskirts.
There was a guy left.
Yeah, if infantry manages to come in here and flood this area, this could be devastating for the Russians. There's only there's about a full squad. There's about 8 people left for the militia on the outside of the compound, while only I count 5 left in the immediate area.
Yeah, look at the kills. It's actually quite even. It's 20 for the Russians and 18 for the militia.
Oh, this Dishkateki on the inside, almost takes out the MTLB. Dwarf mans that MTLB, tries to take out
he's shooting at a Dishka emplacement here.
Dwarf trying to man that Dishka, tries and almost takes out his counter command, Karmakut, but Karmakut's too quick on the draw and manages to take it out. They do man the Dishkateki again. Sorry,
Same thing
Dishka.
happened on this yard as well.
Yeah, there's just two-pronged attacks on the on this. But I believe the BTR is rated for 50 cal in the front, right? So it can bounce a lot of those shots.
Just on the top plate, on the bottom plates, that 50 cal can go right through it.
Okay, so depending on what, he's got to have proper aiming. But this MTLB is just paper thin. But MTLB is clear. They've dealt with the Citadel goes down, or Cardboard goes down.
There is some militia coming in from behind. However, they have no AT capabilities. So I don't think they're going to be able to deal with these BTRs anymore. These BTRs and MTLBs. So they're going to be pinned to the buildings. as the rest of the infantry is free to move around and just murder them.
Hey, keep your gun to range. Drivers
And that's really what they are doing.
This BTR is playing super aggressively. Who is this? Sigart, he knows he's got to get close to the BTR so he can't get enough depression on him to kill him.
Getting right up on him.
He gets killed out by the infantry.
Pretty good position to come in on a flank. The remainder of the infantry is too clumped up to be super effective. They need to spread out and try and get surround this BTR. This BTR is looking almost directly at where the
It's like a friendly saw just mowed down an SL.
Yeah, I believe. Yep, Merlino takes out a timepiece. Very unfortunate for them. Enemy radio being called down. And it's all left. It's just up to the Russians to finish sweeping the compound. Evan SMA takes out the last guy. HML is down.
Of MTLB left. This corner of the
Musk, Churls, and Kahuna, the only people left. And Sphinx takes out Churls.
Also wounds the he wounds Kahuna as well. That's a good peek on his part.
Left side of the building.
A couple grenades in here, and this is all she wrote.
Yep, this is not gonna last for much longer. This one Russian man, as soon as BTR pulls forward anymore, he's dead. Or militiaman. Nope, he's in a
he doesn't have the depression. Yeah, he doesn't have the depression, and they push in. Evan SMA pushing in.
Guy on the outside goes down. And that's everyone.
I think that's everybody. Very aggressive. That's violence of action for you. They pushed in. They didn't hesitate one after another, and they had alternating fields of fire as they managed to clear the remaining militia. And that is.
That's GG.
That is it. Yep, that is GG. Then the Russians managed to take it pretty effectively. It was actually relatively close. They only had about a squad left, and it really came down to the vehicles just being very aggressive, knowing that they had to push in and take out this objective quickly before the remainder of the militia managed to respond. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break as we switch sides and play for a round 2. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. In the meantime, check us out at squadops.gg. If you're interested in our events, sign up for our SOTT Basic. And if you like what we do, if you want to catch more of these One Life events, we do not stream all the time onto Karmakut's channel. Check us out at twitch.tv/squadops and give us a follow. And we'll be right back after a quick break.
Roadblock ahead. Shrek and Matt, we're going to clear it.
right, gents, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out to SOTT Basic. I'm your instructor today. It's Hammering Hutch. You guys can simply just call me Hutch. When we're suppressing an enemy target, the whole intent of that is to keep their heads down so an adjacent unit can maneuver onto them. All right, and during this process, we have a thing that happens automatically and organically within each, either whether it be buddy team or fire team, is there's no lull in the gunfire, thus talking guns. Open fire. Contact front. Alpha, bound. He sees me. I'm down. Bravo, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Alright, Bravo set. Alpha up. He sees me. I'm down. You're now in what is known as a file. You're now in what is known as a staggered column, and usually used when moving from one location to another where contact is imminent. Those are your basic formations that we utilize in squad operations.
Squads pushing West Petrivka, 2 squads at North Trivka.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for round 2, session 2 of our Saturday, June 30th event, Operation Arrowhead. I am your commentator for this evening's Shattered Ritual, joined today by XF. How's it going, XF?
It's going great. Thanks for asking.
And after a really action-packed round where we had mortars with 8+ kills, we had vehicles just zooming in and just driving it down people's throats, and great infantry. We're expecting another great round as we have swapped sides. And then we'll go ahead and go over platoon leads since we are going talking about swapping sides. For the Russian side, we have platoon commander or platoon leader Dwarf with squad leads HML, Hero, Atomic Peach, and Sugarheart. For the militia, we have command for platoon lead Karmakut with his squad leads Sphinx, Fulcrum, Silent, and Pain 12B. Great work on both sides. Karma's side, they had great infantry, great vehicle movement with Sphinx and Karmakut commanding a vehicle each. Fulcrum, Silence squad made great bases of fire and great, essentially arrowheads as they pushed into these into the objective. And Pain squad was a great flanking squad until they eventually hooked up. Dwarf squad did a great job being on the outside for the most part, having a very wide defense that was questionable at first, but it managed to almost work out for the most part. They just had some very not unlucky spots, but they were spotted because of the diligence and security from Karma's platoon. And it really worked out for Karma's platoon in favor. We'll see how they managed. We'll see how the Russians managed to use their assets this time. For the assets, Russian squad, or the Russian platoon, for each squad, they get 2 automatic riflemen, 1 light anti-tank, 1 grenade launcher, and 1 medic per squad. They also get a weapon squad that has 2 SL kits, so they get an extra pair of binoculars, 2 fire team leads, 2 machine gunners, 2 medium machine guns, 2 light anti-tanks, and 1 medic. For the vehicles, they get a BTR-80, an MTLB NSVT, a trans, and they get 1 Logi with any load, depending on how they want to use their whether they get more ammo or more supplies. For the militia, we get 2 automatic riflemen, 1 light anti-tank, and 1 medic per squad. And for the platoon, they get 2 medium machine guns and 4 engineers. For the vehicles, they get 3 Logi trucks that can run constantly. They get 1 SPG techie and 1 techie of any kind, whether that be the rocket techie or the Dishka techie, armored or unarmored. And they, for their strong point that they decide to choose, they get 1 mortar, 2 HMGs, 1 SPG, and various defensive structures depending on how they want to build up their points. So the objective of this nobody spawned in yet. Cool. We haven't missed a brief. So the objective of this mission, we're going to go ahead and bring up the map, is there are several points that they the militia can choose from, and it basically forms the shape of an arrowhead. The militia decide to defend whichever grid spot they choose. The last time the militia decided to pick the G6 keypad, and it looks like the militia have chosen the center of the arrowhead at about the H8 area, very wide open area.
I know MTOD going north, sir.
And whatnot before, rather than like strong pointing buildings. Right.
Yeah.
We should be going. I think we're just going over platoon briefs, or sorry, the command brief right now, as while Dwarf sort of briefs his squad leads for the general plan before he has the remainder of his platoon come in for a full platoon brief.
Yeah, so we got a little bit left. So yeah, like as you can notice here, for people who do play squad, there is a little bit of changes for us on the map. You'll notice the biggest difference. You can't quite see it right now, but for map markers, only the SLs and our FTLs, which is a special kit that the participants can go and select, and our medics appear. Everything else is no longer appearing on the map. Same with the vehicles. If you notice, like this BTR, they're not on the map. None of them are. So it's just some small minor tweaks to make it a little more challenging. Also some new kits as well, like the FTL, like mentioned. And also we have the engineer down on the Russian side. You can see they get a AT mine, I believe 10 sandbags and 11 barbed wire. So they got plenty of stuff to price down, as well as a breacher class, which gives them effectively a IED that's on a timer. So that is a very nice thing to go and breach buildings with.
All right.
It looks like we're about to roll into the Russian brief. Dorf is gathering up his guys for the brief, and let's go ahead and listen, and we'll see how what he decides to do with his assets and his platoon as a whole.
Well, guys, that was a good. I mean, you guys all did a really good job. Unfortunately, we got screwed for a number of reasons. One being all our lads seemed to have disconnected or unfortunately hit their own mines.
Sorry,
things
guys.
happen. That's fine. Things happen.
It's not your fault.
It was a close game. If it weren't for their vehicles, we probably would have won, hands down. Anyways, this time we gotta go fight the dirty militia locals that are trying to go against the Russian fist. To do that, to take out the threat that the locals possess, where am I at? Sugar in Squad 1 will be loading up into an MTLB with HML and myself in a Logi, and we'll be going to the sniper mark in Hotel 451. At the same time, in a BTR and possibly a transport truck, Hero and Atomic Peach will be going to the green fob marker in West Petrivka, located at Fox 596. From there, they will stand by and wait, clear out West Petrivka at the same time we're clearing out North Petrivka. In North Petrivka, we'll set up a fire base where we'll have mortars And from there, once we get everything set up, we'll start pushing south. First to Gulf 6, clear out Gulf 6, and it's at the same time clearing out Hotel 6. And then India 6 or India 5, whatever that is. And then from there, we'll keep pushing south to the Hotel 7 area. And east of that at India 7. Then we'll go down, get Gulf 8, I-8, then E9, Echo 9, or Fox 9, or whatever it is. So basically just a north to south push, 2 squads supporting each other simultaneously. Should be simple. Each team has a BTR or MTLB to support them. Priorities for us, priorities are killing any Lodi trucks that we come across. Certainly any technicals. Technicals are big. We got to make sure we kill them, and lats. So any anti-take asset that we see, we need to eliminate it right away. Any questions?
Question?
Yeah.
That means the ROE on anti-vehicle assets is shoot on sight.
It's if you can kill it, and you're positive you can kill it, then you can shoot it. You're free to shoot it.
Copy.
I don't want people taking 200-meter shots just because they see the enemy. I like it when people are guaranteed to shoot and kill an enemy if they're doing it at distance. Like if you're gonna one-tap someone. That's appropriate. Any other questions? None? No questions? Alright. Squad leader. Nope, you're good. Go away. Squad leader's all yours.
Alrighty, so that was Commander Dorf's brief, and it is a very reserved plan. Going ahead and getting set up on the north side of the map and then pushing south. I like it, and make sure that his men is, you know, not going to die right away. However, I can see them being slowed down later on, and that's something that previous round Karma showed that he did not want to do. Whenever they got into contact, Karma told him to push through, or he got a flanking force to go and eliminate that contact as soon as possible, so that they don't get held up and they lose people out in the field, not on the objective. So it was a very nice move on Karma's part to go ahead and take that initiative. And with Dorf's plan, he's got to really focus on that as well.
Yeah, he's got to keep up the aggression. Karma was adamant about not taking not favorable fights for them, as they, like when Silent Squad at the beginning of last round got cut out in the woods, and they definitely, the other squad was set up in like buildings, and they had walls in front of them. He is very adamant about hold your position, hold up the MTOB, had the squad pull back, and then they had the MTOB pull away, and that really kept their squad alive for a long time.
Alrighty, so
live at 1:40, so live in about 4-ish minutes, 5-ish minutes.
So if you're liking what you're seeing here, you can go and join us at squadops.gg. You can find us there. That's our website. You can sign up for these events. It's got all the information you need to go and join us there. If you like the stream, you can go ahead and follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/squadops. Same thing with YouTube, youtube.com/squadops. And you see these streams a lot more regularly of these operations every Wednesday and Saturday, that is.
And we have 2 sessions on Saturdays.
Yep. Looking at chat real fast. We have this. Who's this? Hydro. Any ideas on when those new kits will be added to the public servers? They will never be added to the public servers. This is just our mod, and we can't add those type of assets to public servers. And the only thing we could do is when modding V2 comes out, we can put on custom layers and custom maps. That's all. We can't really do anything else. kits or anything like that.
So I think a big factor that Dwarf should play off of is his logi and his mortars that the Russians get. They do get a mortar, and Karma flipped his vehicle last round, so they didn't actually get to use any offensive mortars, whether it be smoke or HE. So and with how Dwarf was commanding the mortars last time, I'm expecting some good stuff out of him.
Hey, it didn't happen to me, right?
Yeah, Dwarf was very accurate from his mortars, or with his mortars.
And that's not only on Dwarf. Dwarf was the man manning the mortars and sending the rounds out. That had a lot to do with his squad leads and them calling out accurate grids and guiding in the rounds effectively. Because it really, like, if Dwarf's just staring at a map, he can't tell what's going on. It's really got to be the eyes that are on the field, and that fell to his, like, Sughard and Atomic Peach and friends who were giving out those calls.
Yeah, they did a huge job on that with just reporting where their contacts are and getting mortars on target as soon as possible.
We get onboard snacks.
So we got the bomb asking over on Karma's channel. Hey Karma, what server are you on? I'm playing squad. We are actually not on any public server. We're not on our event server. We're on Squad Ops event server. If you want to join these events, however, and play with Karma, you can go ahead and sign up at squadops.gg and join on the events that are hosted every Wednesday and Saturday.
Please don't do that. Dang, boss.
Okay, stop.
Operator
2 minutes.
Is that you?
Yep, just under 2 minutes to go. All vehicles are lined up out the gate, ready to go. Looks like Hero's squad is going to take the MTLB. Londard squad is going to, or Londard squad is going to take the MTLB. Hero's squad is going to take the BTR. Atomic Peach is in the transport, and Dwarf is in the lodging.
And get more ammo for it.
We might have a long time to contact here as the Russians are playing such a reserved gameplay style. I'll go and fly over real fast if you want to keep an eye on the Russians. I'll go look over at the militia side to see what they're building now.
It's all gonna come down to their defensive structures. He put the spot that Karma has chosen is very close and very easy to resupply from, and so they're gonna have to put down a metric shit ton of sandbags and the oil barrels and things like that if they want to stand a chance against these MTLB and BTR. Because if they can get on an angle where they are far enough away, they can just lay down fire with no remorse, as the militia just is basically forced to just cower down behind those structures.
Yeah, they have all these wooden structures. Look at they're actually trying to build up right now. They have mortars going down as well, so they are going to be using those. I'm not sure if they're having any protection off the map though. No, they are getting some barbed wire up. It looks like main trees, so the Russians can't use them as cover. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Yeah, they're putting barbed wire down at every single main tree. Huh. I don't think I've ever seen that before. We've got a Dishka watching over the road here. Very nice position for them. We are live. It is go time for these militia.
Live. And right off the bat, it looks like, I believe Dwarf said he wanted to go switch out the ammo. He definitely doesn't want all of those build points. He's probably only going to get enough for maybe 1, 2 mortars, and then the rest is just going to be ammo points. Or at least that's what I would do. And I assume Dwarf is capable enough to understand that.
Figured it out.
Rich asking over on Karma's channel, who is this? This is XF speaking currently, joined by Shadowed Ritual. Actually, Shadowed Ritual is technically the host.
Yeah, we are the co-commentators for this evening, Shadow Ritual and XF, and we're here providing a Squad Ops One Life event, or commentating a Squad Ops One Life event. This is Operation Arrowhead, and we have just started. BTR for the Russians have taken point as the rest of the Russians follow behind, and we'll see if militia decides to send out scouts. Unfortunately for the last round, the SPG that got sent out as a scout was spotted almost right off of the bat, and I'd like to see that SPG be used a little more effectively. To be fair, it was not all on the SPG's fault. It was just a matter of wrong place, wrong time for that SPG. It looked like it was trying to be sneaky, but the BTR just really rolled into it, and there's nothing they could do.
So it looks like on the far south side, where there is a slight hill that watches over the main town they've chosen, they're setting up some sandbag pillboxes, just kind of in random, sporadic areas where they can watch over this main defilade that I think the Russians are going to be approaching from. However, Dorf's plan is mostly, I believe it's western-sided, is what he was going off of. So we'll see how well those pillboxes actually play out later on.
Is this Karma or who? Rich Gamer? We are, neither of us is Karma. I am Shadow Ritual, and this is XF. Karmakut is playing, though. If you're just joining us, you missed hearing his comms directly. He was on the Russian side last round, but this time he is in charge of the militia forces as they dig in for the inevitable Russian assault.
Yep, so here's actually Karma right now. He's running around. He's probably going over to each one of his SL's positions, seeing how they're doing, and inspecting their defenses they're building up, or maybe going over to help build up some other plans.
Alex Terrier, what is this map? This map is Yeho Rivka AASV2, slightly modded. We have added a fair amount of fog. It's not as bad on the higher ground, but as you get to the west side of the map where the ground gets low, that fog gets really thick. So, but for the most part, it's just going to be a light layer of fog as the militia or Russians dismount and they start their push south. They are not as west as I think Dorf wanted them to be, but they're just going to push, they're going to start pushing south from the north part of the map. And it's going to be a fair amount. It's going to be a fair amount of time before they come into contact. They got about a kilometer to walk if they're going to walk from here. And this is where they're going to set up the mortars. And what's the range of the mortar? About 1,400 meters?
I believe so. I believe it's the max range. Somewhere around the 1,200 to 500 range.
You got anything? See any ice south?
It looks like this is where they're going to set up the mortars, just in range, almost barely. It's cutting it close. It's cutting it really close. I'd like to see that mortar get pushed up to their old position that they had chosen at the G687 compound, just a couple hundred meters south. But I can respect the discipline and put it this far back.
I remember setting up some mortars for one of our SNSs for Yurivka, and I think I put my mortars like right over here where mouse is at the corner of J9 or J9, J8, that area, and I could just barely reach where their fob is right now. So I think just by a pure strike of luck, the militia are going to be in range of those mortars.
It's going to be just pure max range mortars. That barrel is almost parallel to the ground. And they start to dig. And it'll be a minute. They're not going to fire blindly, I would expect. They're going to wait to get eyes on from they're going to expect to get eyes on the militia.
Yep. So yeah, it looks like they're just building up more supplies, or since they're so close to airfield, I think that's why Karma chose this location, is they're so close to militia main that they can set down as many supply or as many defensive structures as they want. So you can see they're spanning the more expensive stuff, like these wood structures, these wooden walls.
Oh, you're right. They're not oil barrels. They're like wooden walls.
Oh, it looks like one. Oh no, there we go. It's going up. Thought they dug it away.
It's actually that's going to help with the camouflage. I was thinking the oil barrels are going to stick out and you're going to immediately tell. But if you're not paying attention, you could easily just zoom right by a pile of wood if it didn't have any sandbags above it.
I mean, it is blending in with the trees as it is wood. So that would make a lot of sense.
Try to get you to avoid the
Kia saying over on our Twitch, we switch sides. Yes, so we stay on the same side. So we're still on the Russian side. So all the blue are the Russians, all the red is the militia. However, the commands, SLs, everyone playing currently have swap sides.
It gives everybody a chance to play both sides, and not all of our ops are pure 50-50 ops. Some of our ops are more one-sided towards the defender or the attacker, depending on the situation. And so we like people to play on both sides, so they get a feel for the situation. Because that's just life. Not everything is always going to be equal, but we do like to allow you to play it out on both sides. Is the mortar calculator allowed? I believe, Grand Narwhal, the mortar calculator is allowed because it's just basic math. If you can do math, that just expedites the process. But the mortar calculator is allowed, but it still comes down to calling out correct grids and giving out good corrections to guide in said mortars.
All right.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of those mortars being almost max range is that they're not going to have to spread their mortars out as much to get a good effect on target. You know, you don't want to have your mortars completely concentrated in one tiny little grid square. You know, you want them to be really spread out. And I think that's going to be the huge benefit of them being at max range, so they don't really have to spread out that much.
Yeah, platoons stay the same. Paradox is correct. The command and the squad leads stay the same for each round. They just swap sides, and so do like the members in said platoons and squads. The commentator is the only one. Just for convenience sake, we stay on the Russian side for both rounds. We generally like to stay on the attacker's side, just because they have the more interesting comms as they move and maneuver and get in position. Right now, the only comms you'll be hearing from the militia is buildings and what they're putting down and things along those lines. So we'd much rather hear the troop movement commands and the reports from that.
But just in a little bit, you'll hear from the militia RPGs going off, 7.62, 5.45, you know, just covering up the air. And I think Karma might use his mortars a lot more than what he was allowed last round. As well, he never got any mortars. His Logi got flipped over right at the beginning.
No mortars were allowed to be set up for Karma, as he had flipped his Logi, and eventually he just gave the call. They were trying to unflip it, but Karma just gave the call. You're a pure weapon squad now. Let's just get moving. Let's not give the militia time to build. And that was a great job for them, because the militia had very sparse defenses on the actual point.
All right, we've secured down to the intersection in I-6.
Say again?
We've secured
These
down to
Russians are taking it extremely slow to clear out all the area. And yeah, they're looking for mines as well. It's going to take them forever to move down to the militia.
Yeah, they've only moved about 600 meters. Got another 600 to go. How do you prevent stream sniping, Carson Clark? We don't really have a way to prevent stream sniping, but it's not very useful to stream snipe, just because there's a natural delay on the stream, and you still need to be able to see the guy and shoot him, and it's very difficult to make decisions on your own. And if you're clearly stream sniping and moving off on your own, our event admins will spot you and you will be banned. And that's straight up. It's just not worth it. It's all for the spirit of the operation, of just having a nice clean game, and it's really all about the experience. Because I assure you, even these guys in the last round, when they lost, it was still an amazing experience as they had to try and defend the Russian onslaught.
Either way, you end up having a great fight, win or lose. I know occasionally you will get the round where you get one tapped at 200 meters and you're the first one to die, but still you're still able to get into admin cam and fly around the map by yourself and check out what we're checking out right now, this third-person view. So it is still a lot of fun to be able to kind of be your own commentator, if you could say it that way.
Is clear of contacts.
I think they need to move faster. Alex, I agree. They definitely need to pick up the speed before the militia get a chance to get so many defenses set up that it's going to be impossible for the Russians to push through.
Oh, I think everyone knows Karma for his super fobs, and if Dorf gives him time, he's going to have one heck of a super fob, and it's already looking pretty massive.
They're just now getting ready to cross the street.
However, I can't say, the western side, which is where they're going to be coming from, I think they're in a really bad position, and they don't have that many defenses built up. They need a lot more defenses and something linking them as to a fallback point of some sorts. Otherwise, this entire squad is going to get mowed down.
Slow and deliberate, everyone. If you get any kind of contact, call it up right away. Give me a grid.
I'm always paranoid about stream sniping. Yeah, I bet everybody's a little paranoid about stream sniping sometimes, but I mean, we'd rather have the chat experience and the more live experience for you guys watching, who are playing honestly. And eventually, if you are stream sniping, you will be spotted, you will be caught, and our event admins who do a great job will catch you.
Because your FTL can talk to command directly.
I'm shifting my guys.
5 a.m. for me. I want to see this battle. Hey, 6, you probably got about, I'd say about 5 to 10 more minutes of maneuvering before we actually come into contact. It looks like Squad 2, Atomic Peach's squad for the Russians, is the on point as they move south. And they're starting to get rather separated from the other Russians. I'd like to see them slow down just a little bit to close the gap, or actually, I'd much prefer the Russians to speed up that are on either side of his lane. Atomic Peach is running at a good pace right now. I'd like to see him spread out though, just because how effective the mortars were last round, where Dwarf took out 3 and 4 people at a time. They should definitely be hammering into their guys' heads that just stay spread out. Just stay spread out.
Looks like Karma is building an entire wall of razor wire to cover the valley approach. It is an entire wall. I think he's going for the long haul right now, just to see how much barbed wire he can get down. And he has a time for it, so why not?
Barbed wire is very effective now too, since it's almost impossible to move in it. And like you have to deal with it. You can no longer just walk through it and take a little bit of damage. You have to deal with it, or you're just about dead by the time you get through to the other side. Desert Dog, how many leaders are actually military trained? Not everybody is active duty or retired military, but we do have a fair few amount of people who are active duty. Like among the managers, I know Pugachev and Hyper Evo are both active duty. I think in this session alone, I think Dwarf is actually active military. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Dwarf is actually active military.
He's part of an armored division, if I'm correct. Yeah,
so
I think
we do have
he mans
active duty military in our squad ops community.
Further south, and wait for Squad 4 to kind of catch up.
Roger that. We're going to the Southern Rocks.
Alex asking over on Karma's YouTube, is this game awesome? Yes, I love this game. I have over 1,500 hours in it, I think. I think I've reached like 1,700 now. And every single match is different. There's very rarely that there's a map where it's identical to a previous one.
Or movement, at least.
Hero, from your present spot up there on the
Will
hill,
there be squad ops events on postscripting too, Carson?
Into
the answer is not no. That's as far as we can tell you. We want to let postscripting go a little further along before we make a full decision.
And then we're gonna hold.
Or at least half a fox.
That is the vague answer that you
The
get. For
VTR
that.
is currently in the area.
We will have a public server on postscripting, but as for ops,
Roger.
The answer is not no.
I think postscriptum officially releases in what, like 20 days ish now, something like that.
Yeah, just
it's pretty dang close to going out forever for you to play whenever you want, instead of just the play test.
Oh, release date is July 18th, so yeah, about 2 weeks, a little more than 2 weeks.
Since we haven't seen anything yet, I would expect contact in India.
Atomic Peach's squad is on point. Reached the second set of crossroads and about to come into contact. They should see people soon.
Honestly,
is Atomic Peach the weapon squad? If he has another squad lead kit with him, let me double check this. Yeah, Atomic Peach on point with the weapon squad. That is ballsy to say the least, because I would want to keep this squad pretty far back and allow the rest of the Russians to take point, and then get these guys in a position to lay down a base.
Southwest corner. Southwest corner of storage facility is.
No, Squad is not a mobile game. I'm pretty sure your phone would fry into a crisp if you try to play this game on mobile.
Moddable. Squad moddable, and yes, my question. Squad is moddable, and we're actually
moddable.
using a
Yes.
Squad Ops mod.
Yes, I read that wrong.
Yes, no, it is. We are actually using a Squad Ops custom map. Well, it's not a. We've
Custom
changed some
layer.
of the elements. Yeah, custom layer, and this is a custom. Like we have custom kits in here and things like that.
Yeah,
It's
so we got a lot
spotted.
more fog on this layer, and for the kits, I mean, just to kind of go off of the basis for the more conventional factions like Russia and British and the Americans, they get what's called a breacher, which is like a timed IED, but it's really a satchel charge full of C4, and the engineer, which gets a lot of sandbags they can place down in barbed wire, plus they get mines that they also can place down to be counters to vehicles, reduction in optics, and all that beautiful stuff. We are working on some pretty awesome stuff later on for the mod, like maybe suppressors soon.
6-8.
Sounds like mortars are going to go about H8, 6-8, I believe is what his grid was. H8, 6.
Hey, what do you want to do in here?
Just close. Yeah, it's close. It is almost directly on the spot. I like that. I like that call. I'd like to see mortars go out in that area, and then it could easily be guided in by atomic fuses and prime position to guide in these mortars.
On the quickly clear the west half of the village, then.
Where is our MTLB and BTR currently? I think I see
guys on Coyote Ridge.
I think it's the MTLB over here with Digit. Squad 1.
I haven't seen a single movement.
Is this server 50v50? No, that is not currently active in Squad. Like, Squad has not released an update that allows us to go 50 versus 50 yet.
We are almost at a full server, save for event admins on either side, and then 2 spots for us to commentate from. We are almost at a full server, minus I believe like 4 or 5 people.
For the area Novo.
I cannot find this BTR. Where did he run off to? My name tag's up and everything. I can't find him.
2, you only see sandbags.
There is this one squad that is, man, what is that? 600 meters out from main contact here? That is quite the ways away.
Okay, so give me another grid.
I'd like to see Squad 3 and Squad 4 or Squad 2 and Squad 4 for the Russians are in really good spots to at least lay down a base of fire. But I'd like to see Squad 1 and Squads 3 push in just a little more before they decide to push in. Hotel 8, 9, 3, 3, 1. They're gonna mortar right just north of where the main compound is, where squads 4 and squads 4 and 1 for the militia are. And mortars should be splashing here soon. They just said mortars are going out. Let's watch this splash. And look at this compound up.
So we're gonna move the fob up.
If squad is squad only for NA players, no. There is, I know for a fact, EU servers that are mostly German or French. I'm not sure about any other languages, but I'm sure you can find like a Spanish server or stuff like that. This is just a crazy fortification that Karma's built. There is an insane amount of mortar bunkers.
He does not want to be mortared to death, and I agree with him. This is a little excessive, but that's Karma in a nutshell. How many total in a server? Keo Johnston. I believe the servers can go up to 40-40 max right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bard, who's our mixed with background. We can go up to 40v40, so an 80 man total in a server.
They're at Hotel.
And that is what we run on our servers. It's a Karma fort.
Hotel 869.
So, looks like we've been over 20 minutes in now since live time was 1:40 and it's now like almost 1:19. So Karma has the ability to build up anything he wanted for a whole 20 minutes now, which is it's going to be insane. This is not going to be an easily attackable fob.
Hey, Dorf, to reiterate,
Mortar's going out.
I'd very much like to see the fire team or the squad shift west. I think that's going to be their angle of approach, is just swing west, get into I believe it's the Neva city, and then push into and push in from the rear. Oh, mortars, smoke mortars, not killing anybody.
Oh, I fucked this up pretty bad. No mortars.
Definitely marking the position of the mortars.
And these Russians, they're running down the hill now.
Very wisely, their position was clearly given away by them dropping smoke for some reason. I assume that was meant to be an HE round.
Yeah, now there's HE.
Yep, that was supposed to be an HE round. The smoke gave them time to clear out. Now there's nobody in that position. I think they only lost one in the engagement. Yeah, Klausa goes down, but a majority of them still up. Karma's just gonna go crazy with mortars. There's no reason not to. He's gonna have almost an immediate, almost an infinite amount of ammo as long as they can keep these supplies going. It's gonna be up to the MTLB and the BTR to destroy the to cut off these launches.
Vehicle support here.
Looks like the squad on the far west have moved up and are moving south.
Okay, HML. They're mortaring my old position.
Yep, this is Squad 3. A majority of Squad 3. I believe they have more people. Yeah, Hero in charge of the
Hero, how's it going?
BTR rolling through Neva can cut off the Logi soon. Oh, they may spot this Logi. They may spot this Logi.
I think they are. They're definitely going to spot this Logi.
Gun's not looking. There it goes. Gun's looking. There it goes.
It's down to yellow. You better not follow that cookie though, otherwise for sure.
Don't get greedy. Don't get greedy.
Don't keep on going that way.
No, turn off. Turn off. Get out of there.
Mishka's looking their way. I know there's a ladder there as well.
They are so close.
Yeah, Dishka opening up onto the BTR. It's hitting it right in the rear, which is where its armor is the weakest.
Not too many of them actually hit.
No.
It's still in the green. So successful run from the BTR. They took out one of the Logis, and nobody was able to respond in turn and take that out. I think they had Mr. Moneyman and Chris HXC CB in the area to try and prevent this. But they just weren't in proper position.
So it looks like they're trying to deploy their SPG techie, but it's actually stuck inside of the little bunker they made into their defense point. Or they might just been setting up to go in a nice ambush position. That would have been nice if he was there about 40 seconds ago. He would have most definitely got a shot off onto that BTR.
Yep, I can see that.
Oh, and Karma's choice for his additional techie was not a Dishka techie, was not an extra SPG techie. It was the rocket techie. So he just went for more artillery. He was not content with just mortars. He wants the rockets to lay down a barrage onto the Russians as they push.
Classic Karma way right there. The more explosives, the better.
How many people are in the game? We're at 73 people in this game. About 4 of us are event admin / commentators. So about 68, 70 people in the game actually playing. Does this game have a prize pool or tournaments? Unfortunately, no. Well, I don't know if that's actually unfortunately. Just no.
One's on the roof.
Well, probably command. Alright, command, I dispersed from that location.
Karma is my spirit animal. Your spirit animal is a fob building mortar machine.
Okay, yeah, just put south from where you're at.
Karma gets a ladder up to the rooftop, and this is classic Karma as well, just so greedy for information. He puts himself out in the open, in position to get one-tapped by the right people. Yeah, like Churls or Atomic Peach may be able to see this, maybe even Daroba. And that would be all she wrote for the militia command if he stays up here.
That would be really unfortunate if he took a 14-5 from the BTR, maybe passing by real fast. just one taps him. That's a big round to hit someone. Doesn't matter where you get hit with that one.
Karmakut and Artillery, name a more iconic duo. You've got me beat, Club Bendy. You've got me beat. Yep, that's just going to be Karma. He's going to die up here. I can almost guarantee it. Karmakut is going to die on this roof as he's scouting for information. The militia, or the Russian squad who's pushed up to the road, led by Atomic Peach, is content sitting here and waiting for the rest of his platoon to get in position. And as we say that, the BTR is on the east, along with Squad 1, and they are going to come in from the east. And this is actually not a terrible spot. They've got plenty of tree cover to move in from. And as long as this BTR gets out of there, I think the BTR is going to give the position away if he doesn't move. And the MTOB is in the area as well. You can hear it. There it is.
So we have Russian Squad 3 here, the guys on the far west. And they're moving through this tree line. And they're going to get behind the main fortification of this one squad that is like a little pillbox setup.
Audible on techies.
However, it looks like they did send like scouting militia out. Oh no, Dishka opens up fire. Yeah, on the tailing trooper.
James Range. Yeah, but if that's all they spot, that leaves James Range to just sit there and soak up a couple Dishka rounds. That leaves about 5-6 people to keep maneuvering. But they've got ammo bearer, ricocheted man, moving to intercept and stop them from running up this other tree line.
Hotel 869.
I would expect that we're going to see mortars land on these positions pretty dang soon.
Yeah, is very quick to respond with mortars. I'd like to see him get off that roof eventually. It's a very risky position.
Engaging right now.
RPG goes up because why not?
Mortars.
Mortars.
Shots. From the farmhouse or? No, I didn't.
That RPG just was super low.
It is a really long shot with very level terrain, though. That's a hard one to hit. Oh, maybe he gets in rims? No, it's barely short.
Sweep west from my current position.
Pretty accurate, to be fair. They've only got to shift that, drop it like 3 degrees, maybe, or if, just to kill James Range. If not, I'd shift it about 5 degrees to the left.
But have those guys push out of the border.
Yeah, they're moving their guys east now. They're telling them to fall back. They're going to be waiting until I think the rest of the squads get in position to attack, as they don't want to just be killed off before there's an ability for anyone else to retaliate.
Or east, looking or west. I mean.
No, he's just gonna keep mortaring. I think he's mortaring a tree line. He thinks they're gonna try and move up to.
Yeah, I think that's what they're actually doing. Versus the Russians they're in it for the long haul.
Position now?
Yeah. The Russians immediately break contact and they're gonna move out.
All right.
Looks like Mr. Moneyman and his friend, who's Chris, Chris are in position to catch this squad as they move. But that's 2 against 6. All down in their favor. 2 against 7, I should say.
I haven't brought it up yet.
It's like the Russians who are on the far east side have moved around south to the rest of the militia.
We're getting too close to the
I don't know if they've been identified. I don't think they have been.
Here, where's your BTR?
No, they've not been identified.
You said where am I at? I'm directly on one.
No, they are firing though. So now they know.
Keep their heads down. We're gonna have 2 and 4 chin now.
I hear the BTR. There it is.
We're taking fire pretty heavy.
Squad 3 is just going to function as a flank squad for now, I believe. They need to maintain their rear security. Where Chris and Mr. Moneyman are going to come up and just wreck this. It's a little bigger than a fire team, but it's essentially a fire team.
This BTR has shown that he is not afraid to shoot at anything that moves in that forest. Literally, any leaf that moves, he's going to shoot at.
Damien spots Chris and Mr. Moneyman, so this flank is bunked.
No longer a flank.
Yeah. We'll see if they can deal with them effectively.
I think this is going to be a very stagnant squad right here. The guys in the far east, the ones we're watching currently with the BTR. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for Karma to use his mortars.
Their fob is quite big, stretches out north to south. So we're engaging the southern or northern one currently.
Hit the northern bunk, the northern comp first. That's where the
Chris goes down. Mr. Moneyman left on his own, and I don't picture that being long for this world. I'd like to see Atomic Peach either lay down a base of fire cross this street, or remaneuver. Right now, they are sitting here, and as soon as they get spotted, they're going to be sitting ducks if they try and run away.
Looks like the Russians on the north side are getting ready for a main push here. I'm not sure if they're waiting for mortars, or I think the command actually had abandoned the mortars as they couldn't place down another radio. So they're going mortarless. So technically, both times they weren't able to use mortars now.
Both rounds, the Russians were not able to use mortars effectively. Karma has great security from the south and the north. They're not going to be able to come in from either direction. They're going to have to come in from the either the east or the west.
Russians are pushing
this
here.
eastern push, they're crawling up. Orange and Strong Boss.
Russians are moving. They're moving up on their what is this? Their west? Yep, and they get spotted. Spotted by a saw gunner here.
They cross the street. Yeah, right as I said, Atomic Peach needs to move. They start moving.
Mortars land just behind them. Wow, that's a good job for them being able to move. Yeah.
But they're still out in the open. Hopefully they can draw enough attention for these guys on the west to push in. Guys on the west now need to be aggressive and get in there. There's a squad 4 led by HML.
Just maneuver your way, or however you can. But those mortars are gonna be.
And these BTRs and MTLB, they need to start firing. They need to get in the action. They need to be aggressive. Frag out by HML.
Command better move, at least to get himself mortared. Yeah, he's doing it. He's getting out of there. He's getting out of dodge. And it looks like the main squad on the west has caused a distraction for the eastern squad to move up. That's HML.
Yep. HML is now on the walls. They've got plenty of people on the wall. They can just start tossing grenades and pushing through these guys. But it's not going to be an easy task with so many defenses they've got to push through. But they're making it work. They've got at least 2-3 kills so far.
Karma's being aggressive here. He's pushing right up against the fence where there is Russians. He kills one with his SKS.
Behind.
He saw him. He saw him through the hole in that wall.
And yeah, Karma kills another one as well. Polish almost sneaks up behind him, but he's got men on his back. And just blast him away. SKS, it's been one of my favorite guns in this game. I don't know what it is about it, but it just feels so controllable.
There's an opening on me on the north.
However, this southern
calling for a hole. He says he has a hole in the north, and that it is correct. There's a hole in the north. The Atomic Peach's squad needs to divert into the area and just pour into this gap that he has. They've cleared out everybody on the northern end of the compound, and it's going to be much easier for the Russians to clear through when they have the same defenses that the militia have.
However, I mean, they're going to spend a long time to clear each one of these mortar bunkers, and they have no idea who's alive, who's dead. But there is no one. There is no one in these compounds that are alive. It's everyone who's up in this northern, like where the actual buildings are. Meanwhile, the squad.
Honestly, that's what Broken Website says, and I don't see it that way. If this BTR can get some fire down, maybe. But there's only about 2-3 people in the area to immediately exploit this hole that they have. So
it's like
can easily push out.
During that northern push, the southern flank on the east side has moved around, and they've tried to walk across this open field, is what it appears to, and use the tree line to get up close to the militia, and they got absolutely mowed down, only having 3 men remaining.
Well, you're fighting. You're
and the militia or the MTLB has also been hit. It's smoking. Let's see if you can see its health. Yeah, it's about halfway. Meanwhile, on the west, they've killed the one militia. There's one left. They have guys in rear security though, so you go down. Meanwhile, the rest of the Russians are getting
HML is done clearing out these fire bunkers.
Northern end, we're on the compound proper. Northern end is
he doesn't have enough men to push into there.
Yeah, he's got Zaki and Liberal Pundit with him.
One, how's it going?
I've got a fire team moving up on the east. My buddy are set up in a 2-story on the red building.
HML goes down, spotted through this wooden wall. There's bullet penetration now, guys. It's been around for a little bit, and these wooden walls are not any kind of good cover.
So are you getting
Grenade goes out. I don't know where it landed. It might be just far of Zaki. No, Zaki puts out in the open and he gets grenaded.
Oh,
That is an unlucky turn of events for Zaki there.
Yeah, that leaves Liverpool opponent out on his own. I don't like the route Atomic Peach has decided to take. He's tried to get them across another street, and rather than pushing into the compound and the hole that HML had created for them and moving through cover, they're just moving out in the open trying to use smoke for concealment. It's a very
and now they have two fronts to fight. You know, they have the guys to the direct south, and they have guys to their east as well in the main compound. They put themselves in a worse position than what they already were.
Yeah, I'd much rather them have listened to HML. HML had called that they had created a hole for them to push into, and then that's where they should be focusing their efforts rather than being as spread out as they are.
Yeah, at the time they should have picked up camp and book it east to go and help out HML with his main push. Looks like Karma is getting him and a buddy team to go ahead and push out. Or no, it's Lats to deal with the BTR. Saloon's lining up a shot here. It goes out and it hits the BTR. Saloon goes down.
Hits him, but I don't think that's a kill. I don't think that's a kill.
That was
a side shot.
Alright, we took a last shot. I'm pushing to you.
Karma presently have mortars for the team sitting in the tree line. I'm not exactly sure where the mortars are, but I can tell you the mortars are not firing right now. They're really concerned. Oh, I spoke too soon and I wasn't listening. Those mortars are firing. Let's go ahead and spot where those are. BTR is going to drive off. They take a lat shot for their troubles.
This mortar's landed just to the south here.
Alright, we're two spread out now.
Where they were shooting off at least where the targets landed. Wasn't near any real contact. This MTOB is causing a great distraction for the rest of, I don't know what squad this is. Squad 1 to get back onto their original flank where they should have gone. They should have pushed through this tree line and used that hill to their advantage. But now they just winded off how many people they have, and they're not going to have a good push.
Quick update on the body count. Speak of the devil. We've got about 15 downs for the Russians and about 17 downs for the militia. Still within 2 kills of each other. So it's still anybody's game, but I feel like militia are in the more commanding position. I'm going to go ahead and zoom very high up, get us a nice overhead shot of everything, just so we can get an idea of where everybody is, and then I'll zoom right back down. It looks like a majority of the militia are in the compound, with about a squad to the north defending the tree line. They've also got a fire team in an OP to the sorry, this is the southwest. There's no Russians on the north part of the compound. Most of them are on the west, southwest, and southeast.
Sounds like it's too
but
hairy.
they are very split up, and they're just getting torn apart.
I think this Russian fire team's about to walk out into the open where this Dishka can see them. Yeah, he hears them shooting. Come on, identify the target.
One, how are you doing?
Nah, he can't see through that.
James can't really spot it.
Oh, he sees him. There it goes.
He's hitting his
round
own stuff.
Stopped by the barbed wire.
He's hitting the metal part of the barbed wire. The stands.
The 1/8 inch steel is stopping at 50 cal. Yeah.
No, like real life.
Yeah. Of course. There you go. Some rounds are making it through. Not many though.
Mortars, they didn't have the supplies to deploy mortars. I assume they ran out of supplies and they weren't able to get it any closer. I'd like to see these this MTOB and that BCR get a little more aggressive right now. They're just not pulling their weight. I feel they could definitely be used a little more effectively.
They can totally be ammo sinks as well. Like a big part of armor that I don't think a lot of people realize is that there's a reason why they call it armor, and you definitely want to share that armor. You want to soak up some of the firepower from the enemies, so that way they don't shoot as much stuff at your infantry, which is what really is going to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, like old school World War I introduction of tanks kind of combat. Like, just get in there, let your guys get in, follow behind you, soak up those shots, and allow the infantry to get into a better position. Because right now they're having to fight tree to tree, and it's just not working out for them. They're just getting slowly picked apart. There's 3 men plus an MTOB on the southeast flank. There's about a squad on the southwest, and there's less than a fire team on the north. Right
Which
now,
it looks
they
to
need
me
to reconsolidate.
What I have to say about the Russians' attack is they found an entry point. and they didn't scout it out too much. They didn't see what type of paths they had to go through to get to their main objective, or what type of defensive structures they were going against. And then they realized how much of a bad position they put themselves in, lost a couple men, and now they're retreating and going the way they should have went from the beginning. And now they lost too many men in that initial attack for them to do anything.
Yeah, I think HML had the opening created for them, and that's what they should have exploited, and they just didn't. They just didn't, and that opportunity may be lost.
This Dishka, he's just trying to find Londarts. I think Londart's about shooting an RPG right at this Dishka. It goes right over.
Mortars
I don't know
just
even where it landed.
From this fire team that he has on the north, just chasing them away.
Matt, Bob, and Rook, they're crawling south. They're using their smoke as cover. Lon is in range to throw smokes on these guys' positions. If he throws a frag, he could totally kill this 50 cal gunner. Except, no, he can't because he's a rocketeer. He doesn't have any frags.
2 rounds tonight. Is the first there are 2 rounds tonight, and this is the second round. We are probably a little more than halfway through this second round at this point. Kills are slowly starting to edge in the militia's favor as they have the defender's advantage, and they're able to just sit there and wait for the Russians to push them.
Londart sees this 50 cal gunner. Is he able to pop him off? He's really close to him. He's trying.
Mortars have been shifted from the north to the southwest, near Londart's position. Sorry, southeast.
Oh, the Dishka's firing on Lon now.
But the invincible barbed wire is stopping him.
Yes, the barbed wire is impenetrable due to 50 cals. I hear a nade pin get pulled. I'm not sure where they landed.
Yeah, on Londart's position. Oh,
just barely.
Not far enough.
I think Lon's bleeding though. Yeah. Mortars coming in. It lands almost right on top of them. It kills Lon. Yeah, Lon's down.
Took out Londarts. The first shot took out Londarts. The other 2 were just for flavor. Never say repeat for commands though, as that is meant for mortars.
And push those northern buildings.
What do you say to? Do you say again or something then, Desert Dog? For them, you didn't catch what they said.
Right? Yeah.
I think
What
it's
is
just
the
repeat
proper
last, right?
reply?
Alright, roger that.
Looks like Matt, Bob, and
Say
Rock.
again.
Say again. Yeah. See. Yeah.
Roger.
Figured it out. Say again. Yeah. It looks like Rook and Matt Bob are the only ones left on this flank.
Meanwhile, on the north side, they're moving up the exact same route that HML took, except what is this now?
About 15
minutes
men
too
shorter.
late.
Yeah, and about 15 men down from what it should have been.
Yeah.
But Karma has not pushed those guys back out to reinforce the position, and they can easily sneak right back through.
Me and my guy are still on the way.
They're gonna push into that southern forces, and they're gonna be expecting contact. There's just nothing there. There's absolutely no contact. It's a barren wasteland. It's only once you get to the actual compound where it actually has contact.
Get the remainder of guys over to.
I think, yeah, the entire south side has been murdered by a small amount of militia that probably pushed out. Dude, this is Mister. That was the guy who was way over here on the far west a long time ago, and I guess he just made his way back, picking off Russia as he moves in. Let me see how many kills he had. He has 3. He has 3 kills, which is quite a lot for one life event. And yeah, it looks like the guys on the southwest moved up north.
Ditch the BTR. The BTR is now unmanned. You got Hero and Mertlino on their own as they try and figure out what they need to do. But they're on their own. And I'm trying to find. I feel like there's a large. There's this large chunk. They got picked up in the MTOB and they got repositioned on the southeast. I'd like to see these guys get picked up and repositioned on command. And from there, once they're a little more consolidated, they might have a solid chance of at least getting into the main compound and clearing out the remainder of the militia. Because on the actual point, I count 6. Yeah, exactly 6. You got Triton, Best Pony, Sphinx, Submo, Kool-Aid Man, and Karmakut are the only ones defending the compound proper. Everybody else is on the outskirts and in different OPs.
Wait, one.
What are we at right now? We're at 15 for the Russians and 20 for the militia, so it's not too far off. However, the Russians are on the attack, so at this point, you want to see the Russians be higher in the kills, a little bit more in favor of the Russians, for it to be a pretty confirmed opt for the Russians. But I think this is going to swing to the militia's manner just because of the amount of defenses they were able to build.
Are you gonna go take a leak somewhere south of me? And I was like west of.
Yeah, it's flanking the M2's SPG tech.
They heard the techie. They're freaking out over the techie. The techie is in fact a logistics techie.
On the ground.
Roger.
Very classic to most contacts being called out.
Yeah, Overrack, you see one guy come in, we've got a full squad on my position. We're taking heavy fire. They haven't shot yet.
The 3 men, the whole entire team is right in our 6. They're about to sneak up on us. We need assistance immediately.
All squads will push.
They're running. This fire team
the 50
is running
kills
right. Almost takes out 2. Yeah, right as
these
they
guys
run
are almost
through the
on
open.
line.
Mr. Adams takes out Billy. He's trying to take out Elite, but the MTOB is returning fire. Traces work both ways, Mr. Adams.
I'm calling through a guild. Pretty sure I'm in the middle of all of them.
At 50 cal, he's gonna be worried about the MTLB. He's in it. He should see him. Yeah, there you go. Shots going on it. Pop up the name tag so you can see its health. He's hitting the ground just below it. Yeah, he's laying it right into the ground.
There it goes. There it goes.
Oh yeah, he's got to reload.
No, Silas said he's out of ammo. You heard him. I heard him shouting. He's out of ammo. The MTLB is now out of ammo. They're gonna ditch and they're just gonna try and move in on foot.
Mr. Sauce get toasted by the 50.
Silas is in position to take out Mr. Adams, and he needs to do so.
Matt Bob throws a nade. It goes far. It does wound
almost
him, though.
far enough.
Yes, that 50 cal is now decrewed. I think actually for the benefit of Mr. Adams, that's going to allow him to actually stay alive longer than if he was on that 50 cal. Oh, the nade takes him out just as soon as he was peeking. It's a good nade on their part.
And Dwarf has finally reached the compound that HML took almost 20 minutes ago at this point. And they're now in a vaulting over Wolfie on point, followed by Deroba.
Command, still on the roof. Come on, please turn around, Wolfie.
Wolfie, please, Wolfie, please turn around and see him.
Please, someone please see Karma on the roof.
Just look.
Dwarf sees him. He kills Karma. Hey, squad 5. That's actually Command. Command killed Command there. Wow.
Command.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh god, they're so close. 165. Native going out.
Yep, they're close.
Tossing these, right?
They're coming.
Wow, so yeah, they've mowed through this. Now. I'm not sure how many casualties the Russians have taken on this attack. I think it's only 1. Ricochet kills Dwarf. Yep. Wolfie's going for the hard push. He pays for it. Ricochet pistoled him with a Makarov. That thing has almost no ammo. Ah, nice job on his part.
And this push is about stopped. Deroba's the only one in the immediate compound. We've got Wellum, J-Tech, and Silas, the only ones left on the southeast. We got Mr. Hero, Mertlino, the only people left on the southwest, and Deroba, the only one alive, immediately on the point, surrounded by militia. And I think this is almost all she wrote, unless these guys can pull off some amazing kills.
Yeah, they've really got to go slow and fast, though, at the same time. Like, they got to think every single little action out, but they got to be fast about it. So what the decision they make doesn't have to change while they're doing it.
One, how are you doing?
Right now, we're at 21 for the Russians and 28 for the militia.
And at the beginning, I just feel like I have to say, I said Karma was gonna die on that roof.
Yeah,
I said it.
Totally said it.
Karma died on the roof.
It's looking pretty light.
You know, the SPG
Robo's
tech
on the Robo's on the fob.
Why is he digging?
Digging. Why is he digging? Oh,
he got him.
Faked him out.
Wow.
Takes out Kool-Aid Man.
Ingenious play right there.
Who's
I think
left?
It's
Who's left in the area? There's
We got
only a couple.
two.
left.
No, we got 4.
They're on the other
left.
side. He's gonna start digging. He's gonna start digging.
No, he better pull out his main gun.
SPG tech, it's just the driver.
Oh, pistol kills.
Easy.
Yeah, I was like, that is as a long range pistol kill. That's not gonna. He hurt. Yeah, he hurt Ricochet Man, but at that range, he should have had a rifle out. I don't think he had any ammo left to fire on. The only people left on the map, we got J-Tech, Silas on one flank, Hero and Mertlino on the other. That's 4 people left against.
Have you guys located the radio?
So
about
one of them
9
just left the techie.
9 militia.
Yeah, I mean, it is a doable thing. At least they're all falling back to the main compound. It's totally the right move right there.
Yeah. 10 militia against 4 Russians. It is possible. It is very possible, but they need to regroup and they need to rethink their strategy. And they gotta hope that they catch some of these militiamen with their pants down, just not watching their angles.
But I think by the time the Russians start to move into attack this point, it's not going to be feasible for them. They're going to be already set up. They know what angles they need to watch over and, who has their back.
If they make choices like this, though, like Ammo Bear being on the roof as Karma was, they can pick off some people from range, I'd say.
Especially, as far out as he is. He's sticking out on the far end, where it's all open, instead of staying on the backside where he can use it as cover.
Who's up for the command? Silent is up for command. So their command structure is not completely down. Silent's there too. Well, Silent's going to take point as is what he does, and he may get taken out unnecessarily. But if he's there to give these guys a little bit of a push in the right direction, this might work for them.
He's running in between you guys.
Yep, Hero spotted him.
One running northeast of me, apparently.
It's an SL.
Northeast.
Yep, they spotted Silas. Or Silent.
I have no
I'm not sure
visual.
where these guys are firing off as.
Can you imagine if enemy vehicles could be taken advantage of, same as weapons of gear? Some ops, we do allow vehicle stealing, Desert Dog. We do on some of our ops, and in our mod, we allow where you can take the enemy vehicles. I'm not sure on this map or on this op.
I'm not 100% on that one either.
I don't think it says no.
I'm scared.
Yeah, but
So-
the mod allows for it.
In this fortification with me?
So
Oh,
they
there's a squad leader on the
could
left.
take the vehicles if they want. This guy has a clear shot on 2 men right now. That's the new command Silent and his buddy.
We need to kill them.
Hold on. There's another.
They both have the crewman kit, so they barely have any ammo.
Oh, Appa goes down.
Wow, he kills one. And I think he's wounding Silent there.
Yeah, Silent has been tagged. And if they're going to push out and be as aggressive as they were...
Yeah, I got shot, but I'm alright.
Hero and Mertier, they both only have 2 mags. Actually, no, they have the recruitment kits, and we changed it in the mod. I remember this because there's a debate about it. They actually have 6 mags instead of the normal 2, so they have almost the same amount as a normal rifleman. So they are effective once they leave their vehicle.
Just 2.
Technical moving south towards you.
I see it. It's on far northwest.
Total bushwookie mode for this guy right here.
I don't like how aggressive they're trying to be. The militia need to just go back, fall back, and take position.
Yeah, another one down.
Another one in the
Yeah, and Silas is just picking them down. Picking them apart. These Russian optics are just amazing. Oh,
Yeah,
Silas
the
takes out,
Cobra
somebody.
Hollow sight is an amazing optic. It's so good in this game because you know exactly where your round's gonna land. It's right at the tip.
Ooh,
A
Silas
nade
goes
from
down to a
Silent.
grenade. Yeah, Silent takes out Silas with a grenade, leaving J-Tech, Mertlino, and Hero the only ones left.
I think we had a time where there was Silent, Silas, and Silent. No. What was it? Yeah, no, it's was it Silent Death, Silent, and Silas all SLing, and it was extremely confusing. So we're down to 3 Russians here.
I just got here. It's Karma Blue 4 op, or Karma was op for this round. Unfortunately, he got caught peeking for more information, and it just didn't work out for him. He went down. His platoon is in a very good spot though, leaving only 3. There's only 3 Russians left. The Russians are in blue. Militia is in red.
I wonder if this Russian knows that he's pulling out some wizardry here and is floating all crouched.
I think. Nope, I didn't get him.
Silent, he's gonna flank this guy. He's gonna flank J-Tech. Oh no, Hero gets him on the militia flake. Yeah, great job on his part. Now he's just got to find out that Silence with him. These crawling are extremely loud.
Red is militia, blue is the Russians.
There's, I think we got 3 left. Yeah, we got Morto, Hero, and J-Tech. J-Tech has a lat.
J-Tech is the only one left on this flank. He was cut out with Silas, and he has a lat for some reason. I think he's gonna put one. Yeah, he's gonna put one in that indirect fire shelter. Wasn't sure if he took out the guy.
Fast.
So quick overhead view. We've got Hero Mertlino in the on the west. We've got J-Tech on the east. Silent, the only man between them and the remaining Russians, or remaining militiamen. And I count 4 on the point.
Yeah, we're at 28 for the Russians and 31 for the militia. So Russians have closed up this gap quite a bit. I think Silent sees J-Tech here.
3 on 5 right now, and if J-Tech can even this out, this can swing. It is the Russians have slowly started to pull this back. I'd be interested to see what happens with the remainder of this round. And it's at this point where communication is key. You can hear Hero and his counterpart just in constant communication with each other. They're trying to get closer to J-Tech so they can draw him into that line of communication.
I think J-Tech is going to get blanked though by Silent, but they're rotating around each other.
J-Tech's worried about this guy in the bunker, but he sees this body. He knows this guy's dead.
Yep. Now, I mean, he's got to figure out that Silent has moved to J-Tech's old position. At least I think. No, Silent has just moved actually farther out east. He actually hasn't moved south where J-Tech came from.
Passing like ships in the night. I demand close range use of the arty truck. If they were to get in the arty truck now, I figured that he would immediately die.
Silent sees J-Tech, and he takes out. Oh wow! It was just the wrong time for J-Tech to move. I mean, they were both moving at the same time, but Silent, he was watching the right direction.
Yeah.
So where was Hero and Mert? There's Hero.
Hero and Mert Loney moving to take moving through this old militia OP, but this forces them to move through the open for a long time, for a very long time, and it's not great. This is not a great position. I'd much rather them have tried to cross the street and hook up with J-Tech. Then they might have been able to take out Silent.
And there goes Mert. He's going to run over through the open. Should be all right. Or maybe they're going to crawl through the open. I'm not sure.
They're just going to be out of stamina by the time they get going. Mortar's out. We'll see where these decide to land. Nobody in a... Oh, well, 2 people, Ammo Bearer and Mr. Moneyman on the roof, sitting ducks if Hero can get a good line up. Silent going to come in on the flank. We'll see what happens. We'll see where these mortars land. Where the mortars land will tell us where they know people are. Yeah, they have no idea where people are.
Yeah, I think they're going to totally see these guys on the roof once they crawl up to the line here.
Hero's, or not Hero, who's this Ammo Bear is kind of looking in the right direction, but he's looking more towards the barn at the southwest. Not looking almost direct west at this point as Hero and Mertlino pull up.
I think as soon as Hero peeks this, he might be able to see him on the roof.
Yeah,
yep.
Mortars.
Merc just called it.
Prove they don't know where they are. We'll see if
and
Merc
Hero
can
sees
get a
him as
one
well.
tap. It's got to be a one tap. And then
Both
they can
have binos. No.
Oh, yep, they took him out.
Oh, yeah, they got him.
Yep. Very, very good shots by them.
So they got 3 men inside the compound that they have to deal with. Silent is gonna move on that, the shots, though. These militia, if they peek on to Hero, it's not gonna work out for them.
Silence in a
However, we
position
got
to see
one
Merc
man.
now. I think Silence sees.
Yeah. Oh, got him. That was the FTL kit. Manta, who has the basically a reduced designated marksman rifle. It's the exact same thing the British get, except with less zoom. I think, yeah, that's everyone.
Yep, that was Hero and Mertlino go down almost at the same time. Great job for the militia to pull this one off. Very, very close. It was down to 4 right at the end, and it all came down to that hole that HML created that wasn't exploited. I think that's really what it came down to. There was a hole created very, very early on in the match that they could have easily just funneled at least 2 squads into, and that might have been what broke Karma's platoon, as they were forced to sort of pull back into an area that they created themselves, which is now under control of the Russians. But great job on both sides. Great job on Hero and his counterparts, JTech and Mertlino, in their communication right at the end, almost managing to swing it back in their favor. That wraps it up for us here. I'm your commentator for this evening, Shadowed Ritual, joined by XF. If you're interested in what you saw and you want to, if you want to see more of this, we stream every Wednesday and Saturday at Squad Ops, twitch.tv/Squad Ops. If you want to participate in these events, check us out at squadops.gg and just sign up for an SOTT basic course, and you can join in on all the ops you want. Thank you for all of our on-the-ground cameras that we had. Thank you for Barden for being in the background doing all that the stuff that makes this possible. And once again, if you want to give us a follow at twitch.tv/Squad Ops, we stream every Wednesday and Saturday, bringing you One Life events for the game Squad. And we will catch you next Wednesday and for some more Squad Ops One Life action.